Frank, it's just amazing what can be done today. Where you can build golf courses. On the moon? I mean, that's what this looks like here at Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada.
And obviously it's an experience, too, that has to be played before you can thoroughly enjoy it, because you just wouldn't think this is possible. If someone said you can come out to the middle of the desert and you're going to play a phenomenal golf course, you'd say it's not possible. But as these holes intertwine around in the canyon area, just wonderful vistas, huge changes in elevations. Really, it's just a fun adventure.
Now down to the first tee to kick off the round. Par 5 to begin. Frank, what's it all about?
11 bunkers, Rich, really to be avoided between tee and green. Elevated tee, so you can certainly reduce some of that yardage, 579, plus that thinner air. So it should be reachable for most of the long hitters. There's some trouble left, obviously, in that desert area and the water on the right. But 2 good shots, you never know. You might even get off to an eagle start.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Frank, what does the shot into this first green look like?
Well, it's back a little bit up the hill. Bunkers left and right, really the biggest concern, but a well-flighted shot to this 3-level green will be well rewarded.
Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Big swing right there. A great result. And now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. So 2 under early on. Ready to tee off here at the second hole. Quite a view from up here, Frank.
Once again, big elevated tee. It's hard to imagine you have a tee that high up, but that'll shorten that 445 yards. Obviously, it's a dog leg left. You've got to be careful if you hit driver and 2 straight, because then you can run out. A nice tee shot in the middle there, and then you've got a relatively straight shot into this sort of par 4 green, obviously going a little bit back up the hill. And once again, a little bit like that opening hole, sort of different tiers on that green. Try and make sure that you're on the right one.
What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
That incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Well done, and 3 under for the day. All right, Frank, describe the third hole.
Well, it's a par 3 with a bit of a tabletop green, Rich. Some bunkers right and left of that, but also it's going to play a little bit further. This tee shot is uphill, unlike the opening 2 holes. So a 3 here, and that certainly won't hurt the scorecard.
That is classy.
Yeah, chance of going in.
Just 5 feet left. That puts them at 4 under for the round. 383-yard fourth hole. Certainly not long, Frank, but there's plenty of trouble out there.
Yeah, this is very much a positional hole. This is not sort of tee it up with a driver and just rip it down there. Just find the fairway. You're going to have virtually just a short wedge, 9-iron really at the most into this green. And really, this is a good chance for a birdie. So 2 good shots, and you shouldn't be too far away.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Safely aboard. Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A 3rd straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Starting to feel it. 2 in a row. 5 under for the tournament. We're in the desert, partner. I need water.
You're going to get it here, Rich. Par 5 second hole's got a nice stream that runs down the left side, as well as cutting the fairway. There's a crop of some 3 bunkers down that right side. I want to avoid that, but, Rich, this hole isn't too long. Under 500 yards, not even going to play that long. So, very reachable.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. This looks to be at least an extra club, maybe 2 clubs going way up that hill to the green. Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. Good scoring opportunity. 3rd shot here at the par 5. So with that make, now at 7 under par. Frank, standing on the 6th tee and looking out at this golf course, I can't help but think that if you hit it offline here, you're going to be playing golf with the billy goats.
Yeah, you might actually turn into a billy goat come the end of the day, that's for sure. The huge elevation changes once again are apparent here at the 6th. Tis a dogleg to the right, not really a driver unless you want to sort of bring that creek into play or that little stream that cuts across. 2nd shot, a little bit uphill, and those bunkers are really where you shouldn't go. We all know that. And this green is anything other than flat. A fun-looking hole, too, and a fun hole to play.
What an outstanding shot that was.
Got the right result, too. It's just a tapping.
Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and it's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth...
8 is not enough. That is 8 under par with that birdie. Now on to the par 4 7th hole.
And that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up just past those those bunkers on the right and the left. Get it down there on the flat. A little pitch you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and it's going to make that 2nd shot that much harder.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That shot falls for a birdie. Frank, I really like this hole, the par 3/8 here at Wolf Creek.
It measures just under 250 yards. Really what you want to know is the yardage just to the front edge of the green. Anything obviously that carries sort of 5 or 6 paces on there, then at least you've got a relatively big green to hit at. But you can see the trouble that surrounds short and left of this green, as well as just over the back.
This is a good-looking shot. That's a solid shot here into the 8th hole, and a good chance now for another birdie. These putts keep the round together. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over it. And longer hitters could nearly drive it in the green side bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing desert golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. And chance too to have a little birdie at the end of your front 9.
That is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Just a couple of feet. Well, the great hits just keep coming. Moves to -11 on the day. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back 9. Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, I tell you, a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I... But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself. Try not to look at the canyon in the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Early part of this second 9, a good approach shot. And now, pretty good chance for birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
And Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot.
Nice putt. Count it.
A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable in 2. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back. Has it come down yet? Not only is it straight, it's mega long.
Let's see what they do from a good lie in the fairway. 180 yards to go. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Oh, they've made it for an eagle. Wow. Shot.
Yeah, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about
13th hole. And Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what? I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, well, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it.
Oh my goodness, that is on in one. Wow, what an incredible shot. Frank, how rare would this
Occasion we do see back-to-back eagles, but it certainly is something to watch.
Oh man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Has this for her birdie.
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the
That's the idea. Just knock it in. 14th hole here at Wolf Creek. Time to pull out the driver and as well the phone because you want to take some pictures here. What a spectacular view.
Stunning. You can see a whole panoramic sort of 360 degrees right around this golf course. Then when you flick back and actually look at the 14th hole, there's 6 bunkers, 3 really in play with the tee shot, as you can see, the other 3 just up by the green. Anything to the right of those is preferred, unless you want to be playing your second shot out of the canyon or the bunkers. Green should be fairly receptive, and 3 distinct portions, which is sort of a common trait here at Wolf Creek. That's sort of 3 different tier levels and that. But let's see, birdies are to be made at Wolf Creek, maybe even one here.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Good putt. Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. That is classy.
Well, they have a chance of going in.
Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. From a short par 3 to a short par 4. Just 393 yards here at the 16th, Frank.
And when you stand on this tee, this hole looks anything other than straight. Goes to the left and comes back to the right. But if you can just fixate at the green in the distance, you're actually going to look like a relatively straight par 4. And that's the way the hole should be played. Look at those first 2 bunkers that you see and just try and split those. Good tee shot here and nothing more than a wedge left into this green. Simplify it. That's the key.
Throwing darts just inside of 5 feet. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Drops it in for birdie. So 2 holes left to play. Now the final par 5 on the course, 562 yards, the 17th.
The drive looks relatively straightforward. And I say that because there's a little creek down there that obviously you have to stay short of. But that's the fun part. They want to keep you back in an area where you go, can I hit the second shot across the stream, across the water, and still keep it on the green? And the answer is, I don't know.
That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Continuing to putt with confidence. Finishing holding her at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 170 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
Frank, it's one thing to jumpstart your round. This would ignite the round.
Yeah, you don't normally see two par fives back-to-back, so the chances of having consecutive eagles is so rare.
Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament plays out.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today we're here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novello for EA Sports and to bring you all the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about Wolf Creek?
It's a mesmerizing layout. You can see from above, Rich, in amongst all these sort of canyon areas and boulders and that. I've never really seen a golf course like this. It's like Disneyland for the golfers. It's phenomenal, and each hole has a totally different look. It's hard to imagine you can build a golf course in an area like this.
Now down to the first tee to kick off the round. Par 5 to begin. Frank, what's it all about?
11 bunkers, Rich, really to be avoided between tee and green. Elevated tee, so you can certainly reduce some of that yardage, 579, plus that thinner air. So it should be reachable for most of the long hitters. There's some trouble left, obviously, in that desert area and the water on the right. But two good shots, you never know. You might even get off to an eagle start.
Frank, what does the shot into this first green look like?
Well, it's back a little bit up the hill. Bunkers left and right, really the biggest concern. But a well-flighted shot to this three-level green will be well rewarded.
This one has a chance to be close. And what a shot. Setting up for an eagle here. And getting ready for the putt. And -2 early in the round. Frank, there's so many impressive holes here at Wolf Creek, but the second really stands out.
Yeah, that tee box, is it 9 stories high? It's hard to imagine you can tee up that high, and obviously trying to judge distance is one thing, but also just the visual that you get.
Excellent looking shot here.
I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up. Get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. This from 7 feet. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Could use this. A putt for par. Nice par to remain at 2 under. All right, Frank, describe the third hole.
Well, it's a par 3 with a bit of a tabletop green, Rich. Some bunkers right and left of that, but also it's going to play a little bit further. This tee shot is uphill, unlike the opening 2 holes. So a 3 here, and that certainly won't hurt the scorecard. Should be safely on deck.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Well done, and 3 under for the day. Back to the tee here at Wolf Creek. A lot of sand along the right side of this fairway leading up to the green, Frank.
Yeah, I can't even count how many bunkers they got down that right side. It's easy to see where not to go. So obviously you want to get that ball up on that left side. And then really it's just a short pitch across. Yeah, this hole's only 383 yards, and it won't even really play its distance. But, of course, you've got to be careful. It's not long. But fairway first once again here. You can see all the problems around there if you do miss this fairway.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
That puts them at 4 under for the round. How about this hole, Frank? Par 5, 5th.
If you stand on this tee for the first time, you've got virtually no idea where you've got to aim. Do you aim it left of those bunkers? Do you aim it over the sort of the canyon? Really, the answer is how far do you hit it, because that is going to determine the line that you hit it on. Avoid the water, that little stream. You can always have a drink on the way if you want to, I guess. Second shot plays uphill, but this is a relatively short par 5, so very reachable. But you can see you've got to flight that second shot. You want to make sure that ball's coming in nice and high to this green that's perched up.
Frank, what do we have with this approach here to the par 5?
A good tee shot across that stream there is going to leave an uphill second shot, and this green is raised in the front, very narrow between those 2 bunkers. It's going to take something rather special to carry the ball up high enough and land it soft enough to keep it on this par 5 and 2.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
So a tester from 4 feet. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 5th hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, well, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot played just a fraction uphill. And this green, well, it's got more humps than hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That will be a great look at birdie. These putts keep the round together. How about 7 under par now? Well, everybody loves the short par 4, and here we have one, Frank, just 302 yards, the 7th hole.
And this hole is anything other than straightforward, Rich. Huge drop-off at the front of the screen that is surrounded by water. So it's going to be a layup off the tee, really, to try and get the right yardage. This green is very, very, it's not very deep, but it's extremely wide. The hardest thing is to try and get a flat lie with whatever club you decide to hit off the tee and get the right yardage. Otherwise, that green actually might be a little elusive, even though this is a very short hole.
That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Great, too.
Beautiful. Frank, the 8th here at Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada is really the signature par 3, isn't it?
I'd go so far, Rich, to say this is a great par 3. Doesn't matter where it was played. The stream that sort of comes all the way down there and surrounds the left side of the screen makes this hole really daunting. Logic would say if you're going to miss the screen, obviously you'd miss it to the right, but it's just a beautiful hole. And then you put the fact that the canyon frames the whole hole itself. It's beautiful.
That's a solid shot here into the 8th hole, and a good chance now for another birdie.
Second shot.
Frank, there's an old basketball announcer who used to say when a ball went in and out of the cylinder, just the way that one did, he would say, ringtail howitzer. And that one just didn't go in. Stepping up to the shot here at the 9th, it's a par 4, 390 yards.
It is anything other than straight off the tee because of all these sort of undulations and curvature on the fairway. You'd think well bunkered, but the last bunker on the right side there, longer hitters, they can nearly fly that, just over 300 yards. Either that, shorter hitter just played that fat area of the green. That'll be sort of some, 270 yards. That will take all the water out of play into a green that slopes back at you. So very good chance, even with a wedge in hand, to get the ball close. A good way to finish the front 9.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Has this for her birdie. Now -10 for the round. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Really like the look of that golf swing. That has it all. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back 9. It is a windy day out here, Frank. My hat just blew off. This is going to affect the players' shots, that's for sure. On the green, and a chance for birdie. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Continues to amaze, yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you, and remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface here, and this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
This could be a good one. Safely aboard. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
That one drops for a birdie. Par 5, 12th, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable into. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back. That's a ginormous tee shot.
Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. A little bit uphill. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is classy.
No chance of going in.
This is an eagle putt. 14 under on the deck. 13th hole, and Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what, I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it.
And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the odd occasion we do see back-to-back eagles. But it certainly is something to watch.
So close. Well, he's not going to be real happy with that. Wow. Has it. Good putt right there. 14th hole here at Wolf Creek. Time to pull out the driver and as well the phone because you want to take some pictures here. What a spectacular view.
Stunning. You can see a whole panoramic sort of 360 degrees right around this golf course. Then when you flick back and actually look at the 14th hole, there's 6 bunkers. 3 really in play with the tee shot, as you can see. The other 3 just up by the green. Anything to the right of those is preferred, unless you want to be playing your second shot out of the canyon or the bunkers. Green should be fairly receptive, and 3 distinct portions, which is sort of a common trait here at Wolf Creek. That's sort of 3 different tier levels in that. But let's see, birdies are to be made at Wolf Creek, maybe even one here.
Headed to the right, just a tad. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, that's a formality now.
Chalk that up as a birdie for the scorecard. Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
This is a good-looking shot. What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A 3rd straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Good putt. From a short par 3 to a short par 4. Just 393 yards here at the 16th, Frank.
And when you stand on this tee, this hole looks anything other than straight. Goes to the left and comes back to the right. But if you can just fixate at the green in the distance, you're actually going to look like a relatively straight par 4. And that's the way the hole should be played. Look at those first 2 bunkers that you see and just try and split those. Good tee shot here and nothing more than a wedge left into this green. Simplify it. That's the key.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a two-shotter. You find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that third shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that second shot on.
This one's looking good.
If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. 18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, something 230, 240 yards off the tee in that vicinity is going to leave you just a flick wedge into this green. It is a rather narrow green, but from that distance, you'd expect to hit it close.
I mean, that is a sight to behold. What a spectacular shot we just saw on the par 4 with a drive in one. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Really good round out there today. What's the mindset, Frank, to keep it going?
First thing, really, Rich, just try and keep the same composure for tomorrow's round. Get some rest. We know that. Shouldn't really have to hit the range. Swings in good position. Just keep it easy and visualize how tomorrow's going to pan out.
Finishing hole here at Wolf Creek is only 307.